to call the regular meetings of the Public Finance Authority, Water Utility Authority, Housing Successor Agency, and City Council to order. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Mora.
Here.
Councilmember Sardo.
Here.
Councilmember Trujillo. Mayor Pro Tem Zamora.
Here.
Mayor Rodriguez.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to call upon Councilmember Mora to give the invocation.
Please rise. Oh, Heavenly Father, we give thanks tonight for the privilege of meeting together to deliberate on matters affecting our city. We ask for your guidance in our efforts to work in the betterment of our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. I would like to call on Mayor Pro Tem Zamora to do our Pledge of Allegiance.
Again, please stand, face the flag, put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public comments are now open. Anyone joining us through Zoom can use the raise hand function if you wish to make a public comment on any item on the agenda or not on the agenda. The city clerk will see if you have raised your hand through the Zoom application. You will have 3 minutes to speak. And if there's anyone here that would like to make a public comment. City clerk, do we have any members of the public that wish to speak today?
Madam Mayor, we do not have any speakers today.
Thank you. I will now close public comments and move on to the next item.
Madam Mayor, I think we had one that.
Oh, yes. Oh, sure. Come up. Oh, excuse me. Can you say your name and address?
Yes, my name is Alex.
Turn up the volume.
Okay, my name is okay, there you go. My name is Alejandro Piedra. I'm a resident of Santa Fe Springs. I live in 9233 Vicky Drive. And the reason why I'm here today is I'm very concerned about a situation that's been going on Terradale Street. And this is in regards in particular to Rudy Romo. Rudy Romo has been terrorizing his neighbors. And this last week, well, and there is a neighbor across the street from this Mr. Romo. They already put a restraining order on him because he has been fighting and terrorizing him. And then my family, my daughter and her family, they're moving out. They're putting their home for sale because last Saturday, my daughter was working. She works for Kaiser. She's a nurse and doctor's administrator. So Saturday night, my son-in-law and 2 grandchildren, they were watching TV, and they hear something hitting at his door. So that was the next door neighbor, which is Rudy Romo, throwing rocks to the door, and he's saying, "I'm gonna throw this door down, and I'm gonna kill you all." So my son-in-law called the police. They show up, but he ran into his house, so they didn't do anything. Minutes later, he came out and they start vandalizing his truck, a brand new Tundra. He started vandalizing, and so they called the police again. And then immediately he called me so I can come over and get a hold of my 2 grandchildren. He asked me to take him home because he doesn't want to, watching all this situation. And the mother of this individual, which is a very well-known real estate agent here, he asked the police officers if he wanted to come in and get him. The police didn't want to do it. That was Saturday night. Then on Sunday, I went to my daughter's house in the morning, about 8:30 in the morning, and that was Mr. Rudy Romo outside. He was just walking around. We believe he's using some kind of drugs that make him go crazy. So he was just running back and forth. I called police. That was Sunday morning. I called police. 2 officers shows up. I explained the situation. They wanted to talk to my daughter and son-in-law. So he did it, they explained the situation again. And they say if we seen him outside, as again, because he runs into his house as soon as he sends an officer. So then like about an hour later, he came out again. We called the police. They showed up after, but we tried to hold him before, so he ran. And that was a situation, it's very stressful situation. So police officers arrived later. We asked him if he can go get him. Because we, after that threatening, like I want to throw this door down, I'm gonna kill you, we're very, very concerned.
Yes.
Okay, and after also after this neighbor who put us a restraining order. So I've been in contact with officers, Sergeant, I can't remember his name right now, and Director of Police Service. I spoke to him yesterday. He explained me the situation, why they cannot go inside the house again, and they're waiting for him to go out. But he just goes out to his porch and that's it. This morning, he had another situation with a neighbor across the street, which I sent a video already to Dr. Mora. You think that he's gonna share it to you? He has holding a knife on his hand, threatening the neighbors across the street again, and repeatedly saying, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. So these neighbors came over across the street with a taser gun. He ran out, but he was holding a knife. Now, it's not just my family, which they're selling their home just because of this situation. It's not fair. They bought the house. They've been putting a lot of money, effort, and tending law and care to have a home, and now they have to go because somebody's crazy right next to them, right? So my concern, other concern, is that all this is happening about 100 yards from Jersey Elementary. So if this is happening with the neighbors, what's going to happen next? Is
Yes.
it going to be somebody's going to die before we do something?
We thank you for bringing this to our attention, and we have Captain Ruse here that can talk with you in the lobby, and we will, safety is our number one concern. We will address this. I want to thank you for bringing it to our attention so that we can
Thank
take
you.
care of
Hopefully we
this.
can do something about it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Thank you. All right, item number 6, Public Finance Authority agenda. We have 2 consent items. Is there a motion for the approval of item number 6A and 6B?
I'll move.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 7, Water Utility Authority agenda. We have 3 consent items. Is there a motion for the approval of items number 7A through 7C?
I'll move items A through C.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 8, Housing Successor Agenda. We have 1 consent item. Is there a motion for the approval of item number 8? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 9, Successor Agency Agenda. We have 1 consent item. Is there a motion for the approval of item number 9?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 10, City Council Agenda. We have 8 consent items, A through H. For the record, item G is an amendment to the City Attorney Retainer Agreement to increase the retainer amount to $23,000 per month. Is there a motion for the approval of the City Council Consent Agenda?
I'll move A through H.
Is there a second? City Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Hold on, Ivy has.
Councilmember Mora?
Aye.
Councilmember Sarno?
Aye.
Councilmember Trujillo? Mayor Pro Tem Zamora?
Aye.
Mayor Rodriguez?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. New business, item number 11, fiscal year 2021 through 2022 mid-year budget review and modifications. I would like to call on Director of Finance, Travis Hickey.
I'll move.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. I have a brief presentation as usual. I'll try to move through it very quickly, so feel free to jump in at any point and I'll slow down or answer questions. So really, there's a lot of text up there on the screen, but really the story is very similar to last year. We started out the year budgeting very conservatively with our revenues, still uncertain about the future with COVID. And we are pleased to report that both our sales tax and Measure Y, like last year, again this year, have come in above our budget estimates. And so part of our adjustments is increasing our estimates for the sales tax and the Measure Y. Overall, as we'll see, we started out the year with a projected $3.1 million surplus. We've now bumped that up to $4.4 million. There's a look at our original and proposed mid-year budgets. You can see the top line is our revenues. That additional 1.6 million is that extra sales tax we're expecting. On the expenditure side, we have increased our net expenditures by 214,000. Much of that is what we call the applied revenues, which are the departmental revenues, which in some cases we did not receive what we anticipated because of the cutbacks in programs due to COVID. And so we'll get to a little more detail on that. I know this is hard to see. This is our revenue breakdown. This is the revenue detail that appears in our budget document, but the main thing there in the far right column is the additional $1 million in sales tax revenue. We are also projecting an additional 600,000 related to our green waste host fees. So that's a relatively new revenue source for us. And so as they ramped up their operations, we've been conservative, but we feel comfortable adding another 600,000 in revenue for a total of 1.6 million in positive revenue adjustments. On the expenditure side, again, I know this is hard to read the details there in your budget packets, but the big items here in community services, even though it's not much of a net effect, we did want to show that some of the revenues did not come in for facility rentals and other types of programs we couldn't do because of COVID, but those are essentially offset by savings in labor for not having to staff those programs. And so likewise in the fire department, we have a substantial increase estimated cost for our overtime, but that is mostly offset with savings that we'll get by being able to bill that through the state for our mutual aid reimbursement. So again, all of that detail is there. I'll be happy to go through any others in further detail if you'd like. On the water side, we are seeing a need for an additional 300,000 in budget for our water purchases budget, and as well in our vehicle acquisition, we're recommending 3 additional vehicles for our ball field maintenance program, offset partially by savings that we've had already this year in our other equipment purchases with a $40,000 transfer from our equipment replacement fund. So no net cost to the general fund in that one, just a reduction of 40,000 from our equipment replacement fund for those 3 vehicles. Looking at the water utility, I mentioned the 300,000 in additional water purchases. Yes, sir.
Go back to that said ball field F-150.
Yes, sir.
So that's to get rid of the truck that we have currently, or is that just a new truck for that?
I assume it will replace a truck, but Noe can probably address it better.
Vehicle replacement for the. You have somebody to drive it?
And as with all of the vehicles, especially they're over $25,000, when we actually go to do the purchase, then we'd come to council with all the details on that particular purchase. Again, back to the water fund, we are forecasting an additional 300,000 needed for our water purchases account. We had originally budgeted almost $1 million to put aside for the water CIP. So we're reducing that by that 300,000 to offset that. So the revised projection shows just shy of 700,000 going into the water CIP account, and then essentially ending the year with no surplus or deficit, but going from almost $1 million to almost 700,000 set aside in that fund. Looking forward, obviously we have a very volatile geopolitical climate going on right now. We're still, we feel like we're getting to the end of the whole COVID-19 thing, but it's, it still doesn't feel like it's totally behind us. And what lasting effects there might be. And obviously, everybody knows about the inflation that's going on. And, and we have our old standbys, the CalPERS unfunded liability and our need to fund our deteriorating infrastructure. So, those are our main challenges as we look forward, as we start preparing for the 22-23 fiscal year budget. So just outlining the next several months, we're working on developing the 22-23 budget. In April, the departments will be meeting with the city manager. In May, we'll be meeting with the council subcommittees. And in June, we'll have the introduction and adoption of the 22-23 budget. So we're kind of turning the page from mid-year and 21-22 and looking forward to 22-23. I think with that, we'll take any questions.
Madam Mayor, members of council, you may have saw there was a $90,000 for overtime after the Danby shootings, and that's costing $40,000 to date. So that will get us to the end of the year. I did that administratively because I thought it was an emergency, and so, but I just before you can, that's to carry out the exact same amount of time for the remainder of the year, but you do have the option to scale that back in many different ways or keep it exactly how it is, because I know there's still a lot of concern in that neighborhood, but I just wanted to point out that it was in there through my direction, but we need your approval to carry that out for the entire amount if you wanted to keep it exactly how it is. Thank you.
Do you want the directive right now, or?
I mean, it's part of the budget action. If you approve the budget as presented, that's included. If you did not want that included, you could make a motion to exclude that but otherwise just a motion to approve the in-year budget as presented will include the overtime he's talking about.
I'll make a motion to move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Thank you, Travis. Item number 12, authorize the purchase and installation of new cubicle workstations for the Finance Department from People Space by piggybacking off Omnia Partners, contract number 20200000606. I would like to call on Director of Purchasing Services, Paul Martinez.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. Item 12 before you is for the purchase and replacement of workstations in Finance and Human Resources. This project includes a total of 10 workstations in Finance. If you look starting at the cashier, that's a pretty big circle. But you can see cashier on the thing. Starting there, you may remember right before COVID, we did a refresh, so there will be no new furniture there. And if you go down the corridor and you see each of those little, what look like chair symbols, those are each of the workstations. This also includes dividing the current finance manager's office into 2 workstations. That's just above the employee restroom. I'm sorry. That's real big. Just above the employee restroom right there. That'll divide that office into 2 workstations. And it's what that does is make room for the coming senior accountant position. It makes a workspace for him in that office. If you follow that up towards the top of the screen, you move into HR. And here we are in HR. There are currently the 3 offices. There will be no new furniture there. 2 complete workstations with a storage bank of, there's plenty storage in that corridor and along the walls and offices. This project will take about a week to install. That'll include a maximum of about 3 days for the vendor to come in. Public Works will come in ahead of us, ahead of the vendor, and tear down the workstations and do any minor prep necessary. The authorization that I'm asking for today is to purchase by piggybacking off an Omnia Partners cooperative contract. There's the contract number, it's before you, and then appropriate $15,431.12 from the general fund reserves to cover the cost, including the 2 additional workstations in the finance manager's office. Is there any questions?
I have a question. When is this supposed to start?
It'll be, once they receive our PO, they're saying about 10 weeks lead time for the furniture to get here.
And when we do this, where do the employees go? Where do we relocate them?
So correct me if I'm wrong, Travis, but the idea is that, so that front cashier area, I don't know if I can go backwards. That will remain open. So people can come still pay water bills, business license, permits. And then the account clerks will rework remotely for that week. Yep. We did. They, in your report, you'll see they came in about 50% higher for the same. Well, as a purchasing officer, yeah, that's not it's just a low bid, so. Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
They look great. All those in favor, say aye. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there? Okay. Do we have a motion for the approval of item number 12? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 13, Santa Fe Springs Park parking lot improvements. Authorization to advertise for construction bids. I would like to call on Director of Public Works, Noe Negrete.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I got like a half-hour presentation on this. I'm just kidding, Joe Angel. So we're here for asking for authorization to advertise for the Santa Fe Springs Park parking lot improvement project. So this is an aerial of the park. As you can see, there's two entrances off of Cedardale and then the other one off of Davenrich. This is going to be predominantly looking at the area that is north of the Cedardale side. So essentially looking from the horseshoe pits all the way to the picnic shelter. So we'll kind of blow up in that area there. That's what it looks like current day. If you've been there during the weekend, parking is a tremendous commodity. There's not enough parking stalls for the amount of guests that use our park. Currently, there's 65 parking stalls and 2 ADA stalls. So if you look closely here, I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to overlay what we're proposing to do. So it's keeping the existing stalls that are on that east side up against the homes. We'll do pavement there and restripe all that. But we're essentially adding in some additional parking spaces, as you get closer to the shelter. So there's some parking stalls up against the shelter. And then we add in another row in the middle, also for improved circulation. If you get trapped down there currently, you either got to back up or do a 10-point turn to get out of there. So this will improve that circulation as you go through there. And then we also, in the green area, you'll see that we're adding a sidewalk along that side. So you can walk essentially from the basketball court all the way to the picnic shelter on a sidewalk. The additional stalls are 34 stalls, regular stalls, and then 2 additional ADA stalls for a total of 99 stalls and 4 ADA stalls. But we think that's a much needed commodity there at that park. We also have a gate. See if I can do this. Right in the middle there, we're going to put a gate there. And that was at the request of Parks and Recreation. So in the off-peak hours, we're able to close that gate. Extracurricular activities are not allowed at the park. We put it that way in the parking lot, okay? And then when the park does have the full capacity, we're able to lift up those arms and then people are able to park in that area. So today we're asking for authorization to advertise. On the financial side, the total construction cost estimate right now is $542,000. Our grant that we secured is for $403,750. So we are expecting when we come back for the awarded contract, we'll be requesting an additional appropriation of monies. But we don't want to do that until we get the bids and we understand what the number is. But just wanted to let you know that we're expected to do that. All we're asking for tonight is to approve the plans and specifications and authorize the city engineer to advertise for construction bids. Thank you.
Thank you, Noe. Is there any discussion or a motion for the approval of item number 13?
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 14, custodial services maintenance agreement, approve 1-year extension. I would like to call on Director of Public Works, Noe Negrete.
Okay, no PowerPoint this time. Glad you'd be happy to hear that. What we have before you is our last 1-year extension of the custodial services contract. If you remember, it was awarded back in May of 2018. The initial terms were a 3-year contract with 2 additional 1-year renewals. Last year, we did the 1-year renewal, and we're back here again to ask for 1 more year renewal as well. The vendor EE Building Maintenance has done an outstanding job for us, especially here during the pandemic, making sure that the facilities are kept in a good condition. They're requesting a 4.8% increase, which staff feels is still below the CPI during the same period. The majority of that comes to additional labor costs and also the price increase for materials that has occurred during that time. We did look back at the bids that we received back in 2018 and feel that the price that we have is still a fair price because their prices would have also increased mainly due to the labor as well. And with that, we're happy to take any questions. This is the last year of the renewal. So probably I would say at the beginning of next year, we're going to do an RFP and we would solicit bids again. They'd be allowed to bid on that, but we're going to go through the process after this year. Any questions?
I had a question, Noe. The fogging, so, COVID, we're getting better. Are we still going to continue the fogging?
We are still fogging, but what we found is a lot of employees have declined for their areas to be fogged because what we anticipated is that the fogging gets on the papers that are on people's desks and then wrinkles it up. So a lot of employees have decided to do their own cleaning and not relying on the fogging done by EE.
Okay, I seen that there's an extra charge for the fogging. So am I wrong? I'm just
Yes.
asking. Okay.
So the last year, yes, we did. There's an extra charge. They are still doing it in the areas that people have still wanted to happen.
Okay, so are we going to take the fogging out?
No.
Or we're going to.
We're still including that.
Okay,
Unless you want us to take that out, we can do that. But at this point, it's still in the contract.
any other questions? Okay, is there a motion for the approval of item number 14?
I'll move. to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 15, council member request to add future agenda item regarding excused absences for 2 Sister City Advisory Committee members. I would like to call on Council Member Trujillo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. What's going on as being the liaison for sister cities? They're still on Zoom. They haven't yet gone into in person. And we have 2 individuals who have no, either they don't drive at night or have no way of getting to where there's internet. So they missed 2 meetings that were the third one, right, Janet? And so they will be kicked off because of how our policy is. So I'm just asking if we can maybe have an excuse for the fact of them not being able to get on Zoom because of the internet or other issues that they're having. I think by next month, we should be back in session. We will have it in person. So I'm just seeing if we can excuse those 2 for the fact that they have no access to the internet and it's late at night. They can't go to someone else's home or no one could go to theirs. So that just did. It was brought up by the committee as well.
Janet, if I have a question, are you done or?
Yes.
Have they come to you to give you their information or tell you that they don't have this type of internet connection or whatever to give you their excuses.
No, it came through me. So they're asking me as the liaison to go through and see if we can excuse them. And that's why I talked to Janet, and then we decided just to put it on the agenda, just so we can talk about it, just let you know what's going on with the committee. I don't know if any other committees might have that issue still. So we just thought we bring it up here to make it public in case there's other committees having the same issue. Hopefully with everything being, with COVID getting better, and we probably can have in person, I think this is not going to last more than 1 or 2 meetings still.
Madam Mayor, just to add on to that, so since your policy doesn't allow excused absences, the council member asked for this to be on, so it could be discussed at next meeting to make an exception. So this is a request to have that discussion at the next meeting to have that discussion. Do you want to make that exception?
But I also, can I say something? I think the policy was made for when we didn't have COVID. We were not on Zoom. So we have to then take back and understand that not everybody has internet. We went through this with the schools, that kids didn't have internet. We tried to give them hotspots to get them, so everybody. So did we do our due diligence to help these people that could not get internet to be on Zoom? So I think that has to be in consideration. It is our policy, but under the circumstances, I think that policy needs to be changed by the circumstances.
I do have some concerns with it only because, I mean, it may be a policy, but it's a policy that we paid our attorneys and paid different people to make sure they did their extra due diligence. These individuals still have phones. They could still call and, let the proper people know instead of waiting for the third time that they've been absent. I mean, if you're going to be absent once and you don't have that information, then it's kind of like, hey, it's the same thing what we did with the schools. They have to provide that information. Parents have to provide that information. These individuals, and we have rules set in place to follow rules. If, we're going to, change rules for individuals who decided on the third consecutive time to say, hey, I would like to be excused. I mean, then why are we really doing the effort anyways? I mean, why are we having our city attorney, why are we having our staff go through all this turmoil, go through all these changes that we had them go through if we're not going to follow the rules? If you're saying not to follow the rules on the third time, this is the third consecutive time. I can understand the first time, but third consecutive time, they could have called. There's no way of saying that they have no phone in hand that they could call and say, hey, this is my dilemma. This is what I'm going through. This is them. They're adults. I can understand if they were children, if they had special needs. Hey, by all means, I'll have some sympathy to that. But these are adults who could make that phone call. So, I mean, no matter what, the policy states that they should be removed for allowed 6 months, and then they can be reappointed. And that's to show everybody that, hey, we are taking these committees seriously.
I totally understand on that, but the thing is that we've had like this, the ones that are seniors, and they have been trying to do it on their phone. It was talked about in the meeting, and from the first meeting, they were going to try to even with the phone, and they just weren't able enough to do it. Second time, they tried again, and it was just, like I said, it's not making an excuse that they're seniors, but it's harder for them.
So both of these individuals are seniors.
Yes.
Okay,
then
and
I
have
brought
we
it up
had
to
any other,
Janet. So yeah, so I brought it up to
have-
Janet. So she said it's better to put on here. So we just have a discussion on it.
have we had any other seniors or people that are on committees that have been dropped through COVID because they
Yeah, we
have
have.
missed?
We've had several people been dropped. So it's not fair for everybody else that's been dropped.
No, I
We
mean,
would
this
have
is
to
if
go
we make it-
back
No, yeah, we can
and
go make it
reinstate.
for all of them.
Madam Mayor, would you like me to address your question?
Yes.
So there was a couple of them that were removed last year due to COVID for not being able to
Okay.
log in through Zoom.
So Janet, city clerk or city attorney, what's your recommendation? What would you prefer us to do, to stay with the same policies, stay with the same rules in place, or would you like us to keep changing them?
This is direction that we would need to hear from the whole council. We wouldn't be able to make that.
Yeah, I like it. Excuse me.
Recommendation.
Let me make a comment. This is Zoom requirements are probably going to be over the next couple of months. So we're talking about 2 more meetings. And yes, we do have policies and procedures in place, but then some of the other committees, some of these members have gone on and, you just see them from the eyes up, they just can't figure it out, or they're on, and not only seniors, but, some people might not be that, that Zoom savvy. Um, we do have policies and procedures in place, I agree, but, let's take in, each case individually. We could even go as far as maybe, some of our staff that has iPhones go on a 3-way call, and they could probably share their phone with this individual so they can participate in the meeting. But, this is COVID. We didn't, like was stated before, this was during pre-COVID. And I agree, we got to stick to this. Otherwise, one of the reasons that we put this together was because there was no consensus many times. People would just not show up. So there was a reason for having, the 3 absences in place. But I think right now we don't have, a large percentage of people trying to, get excuses. We have these 2. We have some that may have been dropped. Let's reach out and, we only got a couple more months of this, I believe, and let's just move forward.
And also, just to let you know that, Maricela, didn't we have something at the library and at the senior center helping individuals that, with tablets, iPhones to do Zoom and do other particulars that we've offered several times? Okay. Janie, if I may ask you, I don't want to call you out, but I know that you've been president of many of our committees. What's your take on this?
Yes, please come up.
Being a chairperson of some of these committees, that was my concern from the very beginning, because I belong to the Senior Advisory Committee, and there's a lot of seniors. Me, myself, I had never done Zoom. I had so many problems. I had to bring in my granddaughter to come and help us, and we still had problems getting in. And I can understand how anybody would have problems coming in through Zoom. So when we first started, I think it was Mr. Bill Rounds that was the mayor then. And I think it was Carlos. That was my main concern. I kept telling them. I said, we're seniors and we have a lot of problems getting through Zoom. And even with the phone, it was kind of, I could understand calling over there, but it wouldn't be the same thing. And it was a big problem. So I decided to go dark with the seniors and I think some of the other committees. So when we started again, it was the same problems. And I know there's a lot of seniors that really don't understand any of this technology. And we're one of them. Thank goodness my granddaughter comes and helps us out. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get in myself. And we bought a brand new laptop. There's no instructions how to use it. Never been. So even my new phone, thank goodness we have those classes to go to. They're showing us how to use the phones, but it is a big problem. But I understand that next month we're going to go in person. So, but I had asked that question about the 3 absence that we would get, and if it was fair for them to be dismissed because of that. But they said the rules are the rules. So
Yeah, only because it's 3 times in a row.
yeah,
And at least I know that you did your due diligence. That's why I asked you the question, because I know you're an individual that, you're a senior in our city that has always done their due diligence. So we appreciate that. And that's the thing. We have something where we have a policy in place where it's 3 times in a row. Look at how hard you tried to make sure you got the information. You even went to the classes that we conducted through the city. And that's the same thing. I mean, other people have that opportunity. So I don't mind it being an agenda item, but I just wanted, the record to be clear. And also the 2 individuals, whoever we're asking about, is it really fair now to the other people that got let go?
yeah,
That's the thing.
There have been 2 in the senior advisory that are going on because they already missed 3. So I asked today, because we had our meeting today, I asked if they were going out and they said, they were 3 in a row, so they said they might go out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying this just for the sister cities, but like Janie said, if there's something like that, because I know the ones from here has no family to do it or go over there to do it for them. Maybe us as a city, we should have, as the representative for, the staff from the city for each committee, maybe they should have reached out and did their due diligence. Maybe that's probably on our end. We probably should have done that and reached out to the seniors that didn't have that access to make it acceptable or accessible for them. So I just thought I'd bring it up. Just like I said, they have other people from other committees that are going to be not excused.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, because since I'm the liaison on one, we can open it up and then see if there's some people that this is happening to. Maybe we can do the exceptions.
It's
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't have my granddaughter, I don't know what we would have done. So it was a big problem, to tell you the truth. It was really hard.
Yeah, my biggest thing is because it said 2 sister city advisory committee members. So we singled out 2 individuals from one committee. We didn't include everyone else. So that's what it was stated here. So I'm answering the question, particularly to this, the way it's worded.
Well, I just brought it up that way, Joanna, because I'm the liaison for the sister cities. So I brought it up here. We can open it up and we can change it for everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
That's the only reason why it was brought up that way.
Because if it's done to 2, you have to go through
Exactly.
all the.
Exactly. This
committees.
is not just I'm just said, I just brought it up to here. We can open it up. The only reason, because I'm the liaison to the sister city. So if anybody has any other council that are on any other committees that have an issue, maybe we can go back and see and ask those people that weren't excused because of this. We can bring them back onto the
Yeah, 'cause
committee.
I knew it was going to be a problem from the beginning, because speaking of, like I said, I didn't know nothing about Zoom, so.
Yeah, and we should have done more on our part, I think, now, looking at it. I just became the liaison for the sister cities and seeing this as an issue. Maybe we should have done more of our part to make sure all this, the ones that don't have access, to make sure they do have access to it. So it's just something that I just thought we should bring up and then look at it and see who has, Janet, you have the list of who has been taken off because of unexcusedness. Maybe we can contact them and see.
Yes, I do.
It's up to them. If you guys want to bring it up to another, put on the next 2 weeks agenda. It's up to you guys.
Thank
Well,
you.
that was a big concern for me from the beginning, so hopefully, something can be worked out. Thank you.
Thank you,
Janie,
Janie.
for your
And
time.
Also, we did contact Marisela to go ahead and ask our seniors if they had problems with internet or learning, and she did get a hold of them. And we do have a committee in the Family and Human Services that we're going to have to go back because one of them was not allowed to vote because she had problems getting on. So when she did get on, she asked, "Can I still vote?" And they said no. And so what's done is done already. So that's a problem. And we have people that were dropped off during COVID. That's a problem. So that's why we say if there's rules, we're either going to stick to the rules or we are going to make amendments to them to help certain people. But now these people that got dropped off and these people that couldn't vote, they were at a disadvantage now because they did not know how to log on, or it took them a little longer. So if we're going to do it for one, we have to do it for everybody.
If I could just add, so the staff did reach out to the
Yes.
committee members to see if they needed technical assistance, and several committee members were provided technical assistance. So they did one-on-one. And so in one instance, that individual was brought into the library and was set up with the laptop to provide them the ability to participate in the meeting. So we have done that. So it's just been committee by committee. Fortunately, we're going to be resuming our in-person meetings next month. So we've got just a few meetings to go. But I did want to share with you that our staff have reached out to the committee members and asked them for, if they needed technical assistance, and the staff have provided that.
Thank
Not
you.
only that, you guys have also given us the information of when the classes are, so that we could share as council to everyone else. So either way, thank you, Marisol, and thank you to your staff.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion to have this on a future agenda item?
Council can give direction. I just need some clear direction on what you would like to see brought back.
I'm okay. I'm gonna move to approve the amendment to adjust the circumstances of what has happened to allow them to stay on and then go back to the people that did get kicked off and ask them if they want to come and
Reinstate
rejoin.
them.
Across for all the committees, correct?
For all the
Yeah, you got to explain it a little clearer because that's actually really vague the way you explained it.
for all the committees that anybody has gotten taken off on because they did not commit to the 3 meetings or did not show up for the 3 meetings would be allowed to come back if they so choose.
Councilmember Sarno, that would be due to technical difficulties to meet remotely, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
If it's technical difficulty, still have the desire to stay on the committee, they should be excused.
Okay, taken off or absences.
You need a second on that?
Council, if we can just get
A directive.
clear
Okay.
direction from a
We got that. From
majority of you, that would be sufficient.
Okay. Yes, direct. Anyone else?
I completely agree.
Mayor Pro Tem Samora? Okay,
So we
Yes.
have that direction. So
Yes.
what we can do is Janet and I can work together. Janet will review any past absences based on the technological difficulties. And we'll keep it very narrow. We'll bring you a potential action to excuse all those absences. And we'll put it on the next agenda. Thank you.
thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I may, I need more clear direction as in some of these members, for example, one of the members of the Sister City Committee wasn't because of technical difficulties.
Yeah,
So
no, only the
there was for
technical
other issues. So is it including, is
No.
it just for technical?
Technical issues
Okay,
only.
just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
only.
Thank you. Okay, item number 16, proclamation proclaiming April as Donate Life Month. This item has been moved to the meeting of April 5th, 2022. The next one is proclamation declaring April 3rd to April 9th, 2022 as National Library Week. I would like to call upon the city clerk to read the proclamation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Whereas libraries and librarians build strong communities through transformative services, programs, and expertise. Whereas libraries and librarians empower their communities to make informed decisions by providing free access to information. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Santa Fe Springs hereby proclaim April 3rd through 9th, 2022 as National Library Week. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to call upon Deborah Raya, librarian, to come up. All right, item number 17, I would like to call upon City Manager Ray Cruz.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I was going to give a presentation tonight on the status of all of our, the city council strategic goals. Last May, we developed 6 of them in a workshop with John Bramble from Management Partners. I'm not quite ready to give that, so I'm going to pull that to our next meeting and go right to Noe Negrete, Director of Public Works. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Just wanted to give a quick update on the project that we're at the Betty Wilson Center. Pictures there. So this was pictures of them installing in the carpet in the main room there. The carpet is now completed. As you can see, the painting is also completed in that main room. That's the finished carpet there, and there's another wall finished painting, all the base coving in. And this is the final room they're on now. They did finish, forget what they call it now, the learning room or the computer room, depends on, I guess, what area you know that. The lobby area got repainted, the restrooms got repainted, and now they're in the multi-purpose room, also repainting that. Aside from this contract, we're also going to address the flooring in there. I know it's been a topic of discussion, that carpet in there. So we're actually getting a price now from a different vendor to redo the flooring in there as soon as the painting is completed. So this, all the painting and the carpet will be done by the end of this week. And then they'll jump over to the Clark Estate, which they're anticipating starting the carpeting in the Clark Estate at the first week of April. And again, we're trying to complete that before the Art Fest, the second floor and the first floor carpeting. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Noe. Now I'd like to bring up Director of Planning, Wayne Morrell.
Thank you. I will call on Vince Velasco.
Good evening, members of the City Council, members of the Santa Fe Springs community. Thank you for having me this evening to provide you with the planning and development updates. Although we are in March, tonight's items are a couple highlights from 2021. First, we have the Planning Commission entitlements. So the Planning Department, with the assistance of our incredible Planning Commission, processed a total of 49 entitlements last year in 2021, and that's approximately 4 entitlements per month. To double down on my comment regarding the Planning Commission, they truly are doing an incredible job, not just from the number of projects that we have going on, but from the complexity of the projects that we have going on. Second is building permits. So in 2021, the building department processed a total of 934 building permits, and that's approximately 77 per month. With that said, Planning Department will provide you with a comprehensive video to highlight all of our accomplishments from 2021. But as they say, time flies when you're having fun. So we're just a little behind on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. Now I'd like to bring up Dino Torres, Director of Police Services.
Hello, good evening, Mayor and Council. I just have 2 items. As you know, we had the Shamrock Fun Run and we participated in that. And so I'd like to thank the Whittier Police Department for that. We had a contingency of a lot of officers out there keeping the streets safe. I'd also like to thank my staff. We had a lot of PSOs out there, all of them, also doing traffic control and helping guide people. Secondly is, as you know, as I mentioned the last meeting, we have the Every 15 Minutes program, which is coming up on April 6th and 7th. And so this week, beginning of this week and last week, we did a lot of the filming over at the Whittier Police Station, those really touching moments that you'll see as part of the video at the conclusion of the event. So we're doing that, the police chief's speech. And so we're working towards that. It's coming to an end. That'll be on April 6th and 7th. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dino. Now I'd like to bring up Fire Chief Brent Hayward.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Before I get started, I was getting phone calls and updates on the fun run, and the collaboration between community services, Whittier PD, all the other groups was excellent. We only had one issue, mechanical trip and fall that was, I think, self-transported to a hospital, but no other issues regarding that event. So it was a good day. Excuse me, I'd like to bring everybody up to date on just a couple of items. So if I could get the first slide. I know this slide looks all too familiar, but I'm sure you'll be happy to know that this is going to be my last COVID update, barring any significant negative changes in the future.
With the decline in COVID numbers, the easing of restrictions and mandates, it's time to move forward with some more positive news. The changes over the last 14 days for the county show a reduction in positivity rate from 2.09% down to 0.85%, which is the lowest since the start of the pandemic. Hospitalization rates are at 500 now, so again, some very good news. And as for Santa Fe Springs, specifically over the last 2 weeks, we've only had an additional 37 positives, no additional deaths, so a total for 55 deaths in the city of Santa Fe Springs over the course of the pandemic to this point. I could get the next slide. Maybe not so glamorous information, but I wanted to let you know that the department is in the 2-month process of completing its Insurance Services Office 5-year evaluation. It's better known as the ISO. The score reflects 4 specific areas, including the fire department, water supply and delivery system, emergency communication systems, and community risk reduction. Based on that score, the department is placed in a class rating. The class rating determines the insurance rates that the business community is charged on their policies. So maintaining a high rate is important for our business community and gives the city an ability to attract business based on a high class rating. There are hundreds of elements to be considered, like our staffing model, training, hydrant systems, response times, dispatch types, including Whittier PD dispatch elements, and many other functions. Our department over the last 30 years has maintained a class 2 rating, which for ISO purposes is very high. If you notice, the red mark shows where we would fall within class 2. Just to put this in perspective, there's over 27,000 fire departments listed with the National Fire Department Registry. Only 1,565 total departments make up that top class of 1 or 2 out of 11 total classes. That puts our department in the top 6 of all departments in the nation. We're very proud of that. And as the survey is completed and we do get our scores returned, I'll report on that. Last slide. And lastly, not so glamorous to medium glamorous, but I'm sure Wayne, you'll take note. Where's Wayne? I got metal containers, so I thought he would take interest in that. This is something that looks like it'll be coming our way very soon to the regional training center next door to our headquarters. Pictured above is an engineered training tower that currently sits vacant in Glendale. It's been offered to the Santa Fe Springs Regional Training Center and Rio Hondo College. It currently sits on property that's being converted in Glendale, and they have another engineered, very advanced burn training tower in their city. So because we have a regional training center, they reached out to us because we have one of 6 within the Los Angeles County region for regional training. So we identified this as a good asset to have. It had been offered to other training centers who were in the middle of building things, but we decided to jump on that with Rio Hondo College. Obtaining the several roof props, breaching props, fire props, and rope rappelling decks are included in this, and it's a valuable and complex asset for training. Just to put it into perspective, Torrance and El Camino College are looking at a very similar prop with a construction cost of over $8 million. Working with a couple of local vendors who've donated materials and engineering costs in the past. We estimate the cost and delivery and movement of this prop onto the college property, onto the regional training center to be around $20,000. So what are we going to do to get that? We're going to utilize grant funds and training funds for the college to make all this happen. It's going to definitely benefit our department, college students, and the region tremendously. But I did want to talk to you about that tonight. We just had meetings today on that, and so it looks like it's going to become a reality. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And thank you for the last couple of years putting together all that information on COVID. I know the community really appreciated it. So I think we're coming to the end here and we don't need that report, but I know you're ready to give it if we need it. Now I'd like to bring up Director of Finance, Travis Hickey.
I don't really have a whole lot tonight. I just want to take a second to, number one, thank my staff in finance and HR and express my appreciation for their patience as we've spent a lot of time without our furniture in there. If you recall, this goes back to when we had some problems with rodents and we removed all the old furniture. And so I wanted to just thank them for being so patient during this process. A special thanks to Paul and Lana and Debbie for working so hard to get all those designs put together and have it all put together to come before the council tonight. And then I want to thank the council for making it happen. So I'm just really excited for them. I know how much they're going to appreciate it. And I thank you for making that happen, and certainly keep you guys updated as we progress, and make sure you come over and check it out once we get it all done. So just wanted to thank everyone involved in that, and thank you.
Thank you, Travis. And I'd like to bring up Director of Community Services, Maricela Barderas.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. So I wanted to start off with, I have a couple items to share with you this evening. Wanted to start off with our Shamrock 5K fun run that we had this past weekend on Saturday, March the 12th. We hosted it after much anticipation. We went dark for the last 2 years because of COVID. So the event supports my favorite initiative, which you may know, it's the Health and Wellness Initiative. The Shamrock thing event was attended by we had 515 participants that registered. We want to thank all of our event sponsors for their generous contributions to the event. There was a total of $3,750 that were donated in monetary donations. And we had in-kind donations such as fruit, water, and coffee. The sponsors included Starbucks Coffee, Santa Fe Springs Calvary Chapel, Norwalk La Mirada Plumbing, Gabriel Container, CR&R Environmental Services, Servewell, Del Monte, Whittier PIH Hospital, and Republic Services. So these sponsors are going to be formally recognized at the next council meeting on April the 5th. So the event, here's a video that we want to show that recaps the event. So as you can see, this event's just another great example of our entire workforce coming together to put on a great event for our community. Community Services would like to thank city departments, especially Police Services, Whittier PD, the Fire Department, and Public Works for all their assistance. As you can see here, here's our city council and our city manager finish times. Ray was unfortunately disqualified, not because of his outfit, but for making a wrong turn on Jersey and shortening his finish time. But in all seriousness, we want to thank our city council members for not only supporting this great event, but for lacing up your walking shoes and going through the entire 3.1 mile course and leading our community to an active lifestyle. This is one of my favorite events, and I enjoy power walking with council. although sometimes they often slow me down, but it still was great to be walking along with you guys. So anyway, it was great to see everybody out there. Second, the Community Service Department is going to partner with Fulgent Genetics and LA County Public Health, and we're going to be hosting a COVID vaccination and border COVID booster events at Heritage Park. The events are going to take place on Wednesday, March the 30th from 10 to 4 p.m. Each event is going to offer the community an opportunity to receive a COVID vaccination or a booster, as well as doing COVID testing. So there's appointments are not required for this service, and it's free of charge. So if you want further information, patrons can visit the website publichealth.lacounty.gov or call Heritage Park. And then after 2 years, due to the pandemic, our library is going to be bringing back First Friday event on April 1st. The Korean Classic Music and Drama Company will perform ceremonial and social dances that are integral to the Korean culture. The performance also includes traditional music played by authentic Far Eastern instruments. And the performance is going to start at 7 p.m. and it's free of charge. And then lastly, I'd just like to wish our community member, Gilbert Aguirre, a happy birthday. Today's his birthday, so just want to wish him a happy birthday. And that concludes my reports. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, for the record, I did cut the course short on Jersey, had coffee back at Town Center, went back, retraced my steps, and finished the course correctly. Under an hour, by the way. So with that said, it was a great event. Maricela had a lot of fun. And I thought this would be an important time to state, we're coming up to the 2-year anniversary of the lockdowns here in Los Angeles County. And I cannot be more proud of our city council's leadership in providing myself the direction for our city, and with the help of our city attorney, department directors, all our managers and staff. We've made it through this pandemic, I think, very well. We've been able to provide services. We've been doing things online. Way IT brought this together on Zoom was amazing. And I think I can't say I have less than probably a handful of complaints from our residents on the services we provided. So it really was a team effort. And to say that we got through 2 years coming to the end here, I just want to say thank you as council, as giving me every resources I needed to make sure we provided the services to our residents, keeping our employees safe, keeping our community safe. And just wanted to say thank you and happy St. Patrick's Day. And that ends our reports, Madam Mayor and council.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. So we'll move on to item number 18, appointments to boards, committees, and commissions. Councilmember Mora.
On tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Sarno. Thank you. Councilmember Trujillo. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Zamora.
And tonight, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And none for me. So now we'll move on to 19, council comments. Councilmember Mora.
First of all, Ray, thank you so much for those comments. I'm sure I speak for everybody, but very much appreciated. And also thank you for being at the forefront, keeping us informed and letting us know what was going on so we can make those decisions to not only keep our city going forward, but also, to be able to keep everybody safe. Chief, I appreciate all those code reports, and in a way, I'm really not going to miss them, but this is a good thing. I appreciate you just, it was just great these last few months. They're going down, and this is just a sign of the times that we're, nobody's wearing a mask. Well, not everybody's wearing a mask in here. We're meeting live. We see some of our local attendees again, and it's just great to see that. And this Saturday was just one of those turning points, like, hey, we're probably getting back to normal. All the people at the 5K were having fun. And by the way, Community Services, Park and Rec, Fire, everybody involved, great job. It's been probably the best 5K I've ever walked. I'll run it next year. But appreciate everybody, everybody's involvement in that. And then also I wanted to just, we attended a Metro Little League, then let's Jay's a puppy out there. But, the kids are out there having fun. It was great grand opening. Very honored to be there. Trying to get out there for the past 4 years, but finally made it. We had a ribbon cutting on Saturday, so business is alive and well in Santa Fe Springs. So we're moving forward. And as always, thank you to all the staff, all the departments for keeping our city moving ahead. Happy birthday, Gil. And we want to wish everybody a St. Patrick's Day, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilmember Sarno.
Thank you. I just want to say welcome to all the new old comers. Welcome back. First comment is to Maricela. I know that she thinks she holds us up, but in reality, she walks with us and teaches us about vegan and eating right and all this other stuff. She makes us, spend more time. It was a great event. Thank you guys for showing up. Saturday, after that, we had the Metropolitan Little League, and that was an awesome event to start seeing the kids out there again, knowing that summer's coming, COVID's going away. But it's just really great to see us getting back to somewhat of a normalcy as a city, as a country, and it's just hopefully only going to get better from here. Happy birthday, Mr. Aguirre. 55, 51. God bless you, sir. And lastly, I want to thank the chief for, the little things that you guys do for us as a city, saving, we didn't have to take on that big monstrous tank, or you weren't here, Wayne. He's going to be building some container park, so don't worry. But no, seriously, thank you, because you know what? The things that you guys do to make us better as a community, as a department, and save us so much money in the end. And it's not about the money, it's just about getting us the best possible equipment, the best case scenarios to make sure we're well equipped. So thank you guys, and thank you for your service. And that's it. And happy St. Patrick's Day, and hope you guys drink some green beer.
Thank you. And now we have Councilmember Trujillo.
Thank you. This week, it really felt like back how council used to be. We had one event going to another event and seeing all of our families. We saw our industrial family, we saw our residential families, and it was great to see everybody out there. And it was great. You saw everyone happy. You saw everybody having a good time. And it was great. It was back to what Santa Fe Springs used to be like. And we're still having businesses come in here. And one thing that when we went to the grand opening, the lady did say that she wanted a hometown feeling, and Santa Fe Springs was that. And that's something that we take so much pride in, and we haven't lost it. And it's great. And it's because of you guys. So thank you for doing what you guys do. The 5K was awesome, but piggyback what Jay said, we were trying to go faster so we didn't hear more healthy stuff of what we needed to do to be healthy. That's why we were walking so fast. Just clarify that. But no, thank you. The Little League was awesome just to see those little kids out there so happy, just being able to play. That's awesome. I was at the legislative days, and so I'm just reporting that I went to legislative days with Contract Cities, and the topics that all of the cities are having an issue with homelessness. It's very upsetting that we're not the only ones, even though we're very lucky our homeless count is so low, but they're saying that still from 2020, with all the monies that the city and the county and the state has, it's still 72% remain homeless in the state of California, especially in LA County. And it's very frustrating for elected officials saying, where is all this money? And we still have 72% that are still homeless. And it's not us doing our part, it's higher end in the state that's holding that money and where that money goes to. So we're not the only one having to deal with that. Another thing that they're trying to push for homeless, just in case you guys hear it, General Hospital in downtown LA has been empty. St. Vincent's has been empty. They're literally trying to make it open so we can have homeless shelters inside, but there's higher up, don't want to do that. They don't want to open it up for homeless shelters. That would be awesome. So they're trying to get a lot of people to support the bills for them to open up General Hospital for homelessness to help a lot, get off the streets. But that's mostly it, the legislative, that's mostly about homelessness. And they actually want to, which is very extreme, they want 2.5 million homes by 2030 for low income, which is impossible. But that's what they're trying to push. And no one thinks that's going to be accessible or even able to do that, but that's what they're pushing. So we're not alone, even though we're a small city. All cities have the same issues. And one more last thing, the Miss Santa Fe Springs pageant is actually opening up again. So They're requesting, anybody you guys know, any girls that want to join, please reach out to the Miss Santa Fe Springs pageant. They're on Instagram, or if not, just reach out to me and I can give them information to see how many girls we can get to the pageant. And that's it. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Juanita. And next we have Mayor Pro Tem Zamora.
I just want to start off wishing Mr. Aguirre a happy birthday. Of course, also to my colleagues, thank you for entertaining Maricela on the walk, so she didn't have to walk with me and I didn't have to hear the whole vegan walk. Friday we actually had a Little Lake Enrichment Advancement Foundation golf tournament, LEAF. And for those of you who participated or attended or volunteered, I mean, the LEAF Foundation, all that money goes back to our kids, so here in the Little Lake family. So thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for participating. We had a sold out golf tournament. We did really well prizes wise. I think everybody enjoyed themselves at the golf tournament. So thank you guys for showing up on Friday. Saturday was a busy day. We had the Shamrock Run. Staff, you guys did an amazing job. Gus, thank you, man. You and your staff really hit it out of the park. So thank you, sir, for all your hard work and efforts. I mean, I know that everybody played a major role logistically, but Gus, I mean, you and your staff let them know that they really did a tremendous job. Then we actually showed up for a ribbon cutting, right? So we had an opportunity where what Juanita was speaking about here in the business community. The business opened up, so we're glad to see, us moving forward with businesses. After that, we were able to show up to the Metro Little League opening day. And, so we got to see the kiddos, the families, of course, just seeing the mothers, fathers, grandparents, everybody out there supporting their kids. It's always an awesome and it's a true blessing, especially, when you turn on the news and you see what's happening in other parts of the world and other parts of the country. It's not as inviting to the human brain or the human heart. I mean, it's pretty heart-wrenching to see what's going on. So my heart goes out to Ukraine, the things that they're going through. Our prayers, my prayers go out to them too. So after that, we had other things. The following day, we had Quartermania through the Women's Club. So I thought the Quartermania crew did a great job. Mayor Pro Tem Annette Rodriguez is a part of the Women's Club. My mom, Hilda Zamora, is a part of the Women's Club. And I just thought that they did a tremendous job at just doing this Quartermania. It's actually the proceeds. They give out scholarships for kids here in Santa Fe Springs, seniors. So any of you guys, I'm looking at a certain business right now, but any of you guys would like to donate to the Women's Club, those proceeds go back to our kids. So we'd greatly appreciate it in scholarships. So they'd like to give $1,000 to each kid, depending on, usually they average about 10 scholarships. So, so other than that, I just want to thank everybody for their hard effort. I know that we're opening up soon, so I know we have a luncheon on Thursday, so I hope to see you guys there. You guys take care, and may God bless the city of Santa Fe Springs always.
Thank you, Joe Angel. And they've said so much, everything that I have written down. It's what everybody has said. So I just wanted to say happy birthday, Gilbert. I hope is it today your birthday? I hope you have a blessed day and yes, happy birthday. I'm so happy to see everybody's faces after all this time. You all are beautiful. Okay, I mean, it's just so nice to not have to wear a mask and we could see each other. Yes, Wayne, take your mask off. Yes, and excuse me?
It's her birthday Friday too.
Oh my goodness. Janie, happy birthday. Yes, well, they celebrate together, right? And they're married too, so that's great. I wanted to let you know that we did go to the Leaf golf tournament. It was amazing. And our own Mayor Pro Tem Zamora was the MC. He did a great job. And a lot of great people were there in attendance to support the Leaf. So thank you for being the MC. The 5K, thank you so much to everybody that was involved. Our Whittier Police, our firefighters, our staff, Gus, you guys did such an amazing job. I don't understand. I had a baby. That was why I was down below. We had our toddler, but even with the toddler, Ray was walking with me, and I told Ray, go ahead, don't wait for me. And I still beat you. So I don't know how that happened. That was amazing. Yes. The ribbon cutting, we were all there. It was, thank you to our chamber for being there and inviting us. Everything was just beautiful. The staff, can you tell me the company name? Zenernet. Yes, congratulations to Zenernet. And the ribbon cutting was just so nice to be a part of. And I hope to be a part of many others. After that, again, like everybody said, we got ready and we went to Metro Little League opening day. It was just a blessing to see all the kids. They were so happy. They're high-fiving us. All of our hands were beet red by the time we were done for all the high fives, but it was worth it. So I'm so excited to see the kids out there playing baseball. It just reminds me of the days where I managed the teams for Metro Park, and all the volunteers, the coaches and the managers. They just looked like they were so ready for this. So thank you to them. We did have Quartermania the next day, all day long. And I just wanted to thank all our sponsors. I wanted to thank our Mayor Pro Tem. This is more for all your donations. We really appreciate all your support. And we do have our youth scholarships coming up. We already distributed the scholarships to Santa Fe High School, St. Paul, and Pioneer. And yeah, we're striving to give each and every a student $1,000 scholarship. That's what we aim to do. We want our kids to be educated and to be proud and to get out in the community and be competitive with other people. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody this Thursday. Our council will be there for our luncheon, our St. Patrick's Day Welcome Back luncheon. So thank you and welcome back. Thank you. Have a Oops. I'm back. I would like to now adjourn the meeting.